welcome to the Stealthy Crafter. I'm Jessica, and today I am doing a Wip Chat. If you don't know what Wip stands for, it stands for Work in Progress. And usually what happens during a Wip Chat is that you can bring out your own whips if you want. You could do things like chores, just drive around, sit on the couch, and do absolutely nothing while you listen to me ramble about what's been going on in my week. With that being said, I apologize for how the lighting is right now. It is raining. It's been raining for a few days now. So the lighting isn't the greatest. So I try to grab my overhead light and position it so there's not too much glare on the canvas itself. But if you can tell, I am almost done with this. I'm in the home stretch. I'm so glad because this actually has been taking a lot longer than I thought it would. If you wonder what I'm working on, it's Keeper of the Keys, and I got a picture right here for you guys. This is from Chrisabug, by Chrisabug, and it's from Jade at Gem Shop. And honestly, it's the confetti that's been killing me. Like, you can't see it, but like there was a section, like 2 sections here, where it was just pure confetti. I mean, you can kind of see a little bit here in the upper right corner, but there's like, it was really bad in this section, and it was just like, I felt like I was never going to be done with those sections. I mean, like you can kind of tell here too, but there's not really color blocking at all in these areas, to be honest. It's kind of gives you the illusion until you start putting things down. So like, I've been like, just like, it's been nonstop. So hopefully I got 5 sections left. Hopefully I can get this done before the end of the week. All the stuff that I was hoping to get done during this week, I think I'm only going to get 1 finished this month, honestly. I've been like working so much on this. But anyway, let's get started. I was going to work on the dark part, but I noticed that it's mostly is one color, even though it's, you know, not color blocking. So we're going to work on part of her crown while we start talking a little bit what's been happening, a little bit. I'm working downstairs, so that way my husband can get his nap in and everything. He's working from home this week. His back's hurting. He pulled his back, which I will talk about in a little bit. Yeah, so we had a very exciting week. So, as my daughter would like to say, my oldest, we almost had the house burnt down. The house didn't burn down, don't worry. The house did not almost burn down. But yeah, so last week, so it was all state testing all week last week, and this week, in fact, Wednesday's like the last test day for the kids, so they are excited. It's over with, and once that day, once they're done testing, so they're so relieved, and then it's just fun. They also have like a water field day. Well, the twins do at the end of the week, but with how the weather's acting, we will see if that is going to happen. You know, cross your fingers that, you know, things will go well. Let's see. So, but yeah, we had almost, we had an issue earlier last week. So I want to say it was Monday when I smelt plastic burning when I was upstairs. And when my oldest takes a shower, she always takes showers in the mornings, while Michael and Jana, they always take showers in the in the evenings. It's easier that way. Plus, she takes the longest to get ready nowadays. So I'm like, okay. So I let my husband know, and he's like, okay, let me investigate. He couldn't see anything. I'm like, I smell something burning. It's like, smells like plastic or something's melting. I don't know what it is. And I'm like, I smelled it like around my son's room, near my son's room, which makes sense where the water heater is. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, he couldn't spy anything in the morning. We're like, okay, we just, you know, we shrugged it off. Later that evening, our twins, they were taking showers, and they're complaining about the water, saying that the water keeps sporadically going hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. And then at that moment, my husband like takes a deeper look into our closet area, that the area that holds the water heater. So we just replaced our water heater with a tankless one a couple months ago. And it was a whole debacle. Like, they tore walls into our ceiling and everything. But it's been so nice having having a water heater, especially with 3 kids, that it doesn't just run out of hot water. We have continuous hot water. It's been nice. But he noticed the box that's like next to the water heater, that contains all the wiring and stuff. There was a burnt hole on the side, like near the pipe. Excuse me. And we're like, oh great, oh no. So we immediately, turned off the breakers for that area. My husband contacts the guy who did the initial installation, and he actually responded pretty back quickly. So like we've been having our share of plumbing issues and stuff like that, and we were expecting some fight on this compared to the last one. And he was like, oh, okay, I know exactly what, I'm pretty sure I know exactly what that is. I will come, excuse me, I'll come there first thing in the morning. And then he tells us to, turn off the breakers and stuff, which, we already did. So, but, great thing. But poor Nicole, I had to tell her, day of the first test, it's like testing for, state testing and everything. She couldn't take a warm shower. She had to go and take a cold shower. I'm like, I'm sorry, kid. And she was so miserable. Actually, wait. No, I think this was Wednesday. I might be confusing my days a little bit. But she was so miserable. It's like she was freezing her butt off. So I think this was like either Tuesday or Wednesday. It was one of those 2 days. It was still state testing all throughout the week. Like with Michael and Jana, they had it both Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and now this week they have Tuesday and Wednesday. It's just like, oh man, they're in there today, but cross our fingers that that everything goes well. But anyway, so. So yeah, I had to tell Nicole, I had to break the news to her, like, hey kid, sorry, you're gonna have to take a cold shower. You can take a shower, it's just gonna be extremely freezing because we don't have any hot water right now. So you can wait until you come home and take a shower, or just do that. She decided to take her shower. She's determined to get her. She has a hair routine that she does, so. So anyway, she gets to do that. We get a phone call like maybe 30 minutes later after everything, and it's the guy who says he's coming in the next day. He's like, I have the parts. I can come in today if you want, and we're just like, just come in tomorrow, because at that point it's going to take them about 30 minutes to get there. It's going to be about 9:30ish, and who knows how long it's going to take them to fix the thing. And the kids have state testing, and last time he did work over here, he worked till past 10 o'clock, and the kids were miserable the next day at school. So I was just like, we can handle one day of no hot water. It's fine, we can handle it. And he was like, are you sure? And we're like, yeah, we're just grateful for the fact that, you're responding and you're coming over as soon as possible. So yeah, so we got everything prepped. Nicole took her cold shower. She complained about it relentlessly. I'm like, I'm sorry, kid, but yeah, it was fine. But he fixed it. It did take a couple of hours. It took him maybe an hour and a half to get things fixed, but he said it was exactly the issue he thought it was. He says he's only seen this once, like and that was like 6 years ago or something like that, because it doesn't normally do do what it does. He explained it, but basically he changed out the wiring, changed out the way things are a little bit, and he's like, it should be working just fine right now, and just give him a call if there's problems and stuff like that. And we told him that we're definitely going to be calling him in the future, because we got like projects and stuff around here that we need to get worked on. Speaking of of projects, I invited my dad over for summer holidays, like summer break. Basically I'm like, hey, you want to come visit your grandkids? I'm like, maybe around your birthday, and then on top of that, you could help us out with some of the stuff that we need to get done around here. I'm like, we need a door installed, and I'm like, but I bribed him with ribs, because my husband's been smoking ribs and stuff like that. Like, he has a smoker that he got for Christmas for my in-laws. And so I was like, I can make you ribs. And I know that's his weakness. If I say steak, ribs, and it worked. So he's like, yeah, I'll be there. I'm like, yeah, I'm willing to pay you, in food. But I mean, like, I'm not gonna like be putting him to work, and everything. Like, it's just a couple little things. Since I know that he's able to do it, and I don't really want to be paying a handy person for everything to be done. Like, for some of the stuff, it's kind of like easy peasy. Just, my husband just needs a little help and guidance on it, but they can work on it together, kind of thing. Excuse me. Let's see. But yeah, so we got that all fixed up, and Nicole was so happy the next day, because the next day was the Bane concert for her, so she was so happy that she got to have a hot shower for her concert, so she can get all prepped and stuff like that. But yeah, speaking about that, it was just like, so yeah, this week has been not this week, but last week has been just kind of like all over the place. So we had to change our plans and stuff like that surrounding the band concert, because we usually try to go together as a family, and we went the week prior for her jazz band concert. I had to leave early because one of the kids was kind of acting up, not like acting up, but just flopping a bit, where it's like, okay, you're acting a fool, let's get you out. I'm not going to deal with this. So like, my husband stayed with my in-laws, and I took one of the kids out. I'm not going to name names, but I took one of the kids out, and we sat in the car while I was explaining how disappointed I was. But yeah, let's go. I'll fill that part in later on. I want to be able to focus on talking to you guys. But yeah, so this time around, my husband has his pull back. So my husband pulled his back. It's been a week now. Let's see. It's been a week and a half. Okay. So last week, so a week ago, when I was telling you like how he was like cutting down trims and bushes and stuff like that, he was pulling some of the stuff to the front of the yard, and he kind of hurt his back when he came back inside the house. Like, so he's always been hurting his back. He's always been tweaking and stuff like that. But he made dinner that day. So yeah, I know I'm lucky. Like, so he made dinner, then he went out and did yard work. But he made dinner, did the yard work, and dinner didn't sit right with him. So he got sick. And in getting sick, he basically threw his back out by getting sick too often. The poor guy. So, and it's just been bad the whole week for him. So so we were doing the band concert, got the band concert thing coming up, and oh my goodness. So the chairs have always been a source of, it's my mortal enemy. Like, I can't stand those chairs. Those chairs the arms don't come up at all, and it's uncomfortable. I'm squeezed in, I'm like, I feel like I'm just it's like nothing's gonna be comfortable, and I'm like can't kick the front seat, I can't move around, I can't squirm around. But I was like, okay, well, it's going to be worse for my husband because he's 6'9", so he's a giant. He has to fold himself up like an accordion to to sit in these seats as well. So I was just like, okay, I'll go to the band concert, just in case, so that way the other two, they're not making a lot of noise or anything like that. I'll go to the band concert. You stay home, So basically, he just dropped me off and went to go and take care of dinner for the kids, because it was right at dinner times. Usually around concerts and stuff, I make an early dinner for Michael and Jana to eat. Nicole's usually over at the with her at band getting practice and stuff like that. She stays after school. So I'm like, okay. So I went in. I'm like prepping myself. Like, okay, I'm gonna have to sit in these seats. I'm not. It's not gonna be fun. It's gonna be a miserable, 90 minutes. But I'm doing this for my kid, because I love her and I want to support her. And I was just like, okay, I was very surprised. Now, I don't know if it's just where I was sitting, because, like, I chose a spot, because I got there early enough, but I chose a spot, like, right up against the wall, where it was just a bunch of single chairs. So it's, like, singles, and then it's, like, 2 chairs, and then it goes out kind of thing. Usually I always sit in, the middle area to, and all that stuff. But since it's just me, I was like, I'll just do this. I don't really want people sitting next to me. So I did that, and I fit, guys. I didn't like fit, but I fit in a chair. It was still a little tight, but it wasn't uncomfortable. I didn't feel like I was spilling out the sides. Now, I haven't really lost weight. I've been trying to lose weight. And I haven't really seen, I've been kind of stalling. I'm in stagnant right now where I'm at, and I've been feeling discouraged, but I am feeling some changes, like my socks. Okay, this is weird. So my socks, they fit better. Like I said, I have not seen, like, my weight's looking like it stays the same, but I'm not as swollen anymore. So I know the water weight has definitely come off, but and I've been trying to work on other stuff. But I sat down, and like, I'm not feeling like I'm being squished and pushed and stuff like that. So, like, don't know if that's the chair, or I'm actually got a little bit more weight loss than I thought I did. I mean, like, I'm going to take it as a win. Cross your fingers. But yeah, I was just like, I was so proud of myself that I was able to sit in a chair. Now, it was like, was it the most comfortable experience? No. But I wasn't going to, I didn't feel like my sciatic nerve was going to be giving me shooting pains while I was trying to find a spot where I could be comfortable in. So I'm taking that as a major win. So for me. But Nicole did a great job. There was no solo like she did, like with jazz band. She had a solo. So I was so glad that when I did go to her jazz band concert, I was able to watch her perform before I had to step out. But I was really a proud mom. I was like recording the whole thing, just her portion. And then like sending it to my husband so he can see the performance and stuff like that. And it was so funny. Like right after, usually it takes a good 15 to 20 minutes for us to reconvene, like once she gets dismissed and everything, because she has to stay for the entire concert. She can't just leave after she's done. She has to stay for the entire concert, so to get a complete grade. So after the concert, we and I met like almost within 5 minutes, and I'm texting my husband. I'm like, "Hey, we're ready to go. Where are you?" And he was in line at McDonald's, picking up dinner for Nicole and I. Yeah, I see the irony in this, where I finally fit into a chair, and I was like texting him about it, and then we get McDonald's. So I was just like, okay, I'll eat some McDonald's, whatever, I basically had chicken nuggets. but but yeah, it's just I felt like that was a good moment, and I was really proud of her. And it was funny that she and I got to hang out and talk a little bit while waiting for my husband to come pick us up. Um, and he was apologetic to Nicole. Like, he was like, I really wanted to see your performance and stuff, but mommy sent me a lot of pictures. I got some pictures of her. She hates it when I take pictures, but I can't help myself. I have to take some pictures of my kid. But yeah, it was just it was fun. But I enjoyed myself. She was tired. So she did not come downstairs that night to hang out with us. She basically, once she ate her dinner, she gave us a hug and a kiss and said, I'm going to sleep. And which was, made sense because Thursday was testing day for her. She had, they all three had testing days. So like, I'm like, okay, take good, have a good rest. Thank you. You did great, all that stuff. And we threw her stuff into the wash, and that was that. So Thursday was blissfully peaceful. I was resting. Like, my husband decided to stay home. He I think it was like either Tuesday or Wednesday where he actually went into the office. So he decided, no, Thursday I'm staying home. My back hurts way too much to go in. I'm like, yeah, sure, that's perfectly understandable. I can understand that. So Thursday, he stays home. Nothing happens. Everything's great. Friday, so we're watching movies, right? We're watching stuff, right? We're like, it's Thursday, kids are resting, we're like, okay, cool, there's a little bit of rain, it's nice, we're enjoying ourselves, and the kids go to bed Thursday night. We're chilling. My husband and I are finally watching some stuff, trying to play catch up, we're cuddling, and we're getting ready for bed, right? It's we get some storms coming in, so it was funny because we've been having storms off and on throughout the week, and earlier in the week we had a really nasty storm come through, and gave us some guff, and it was funny because we had the power go off and on the weekend prior. Like, it went off and on like 3 times, but it came back on immediately. And it was like we had rumbles and stuff like that all throughout that last week. This week, my drink is making lots of bubbly sounds. I have like this it's like a sparkling water flavored with blood orange, and it's so good, but it just keeps bubbling sounds over here. But anyway, to make a long story short, okay? There was no thunderstorms this time around. There was like a little rumbles and stuff like that. Nothing bad compared to the week prior. I'm upstairs. I'm getting my CPAP machine ready, right? I poured the still water into the little tank. I walked over and put it into the CPAP machine, and then I just start getting my routine of getting ready for bed. I'm brushing my teeth, and as I'm brushing my teeth, the lights start flickering, and I'm like, okay, great. And I was just thinking, okay, well, I won't put on my machine until I know that this has passed. I was just thinking, okay, it's going to be about 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, of, this nonsense, right? No. So after the third flicker, the power goes off completely. Just off. And I looked outside, and the entire street was completely dark, and I was just like, no, the power's out, no. And this was like 12 o'clock in the morning at this point, and I was just like, no. At least right now the kids, tablets and stuff, they were charged because they kept them, the school kept them for during the testing part of the week, and gave it back right at the end of Thursday. So so we're like, okay, all right, no, nothing. It's just no AC, no fan, no sound machines, Nothing, no night lights. So my husband was downstairs when this was happening, so he had to use his light, the light on his phone, to go up the stairs and get into our room and stuff like that. And so began our adventure. We left our door open, just in case, because of the kids, are, wondering if the power comes back on. And we're like thinking, surely the power will be on, soon, right? Oh, no, 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 no. It didn't come on at all. We get woken up maybe a few hours later by our son, my lovely son. And it's basically, the power's out. There's no power. I need to go to the bathroom. He's 10 years old, guys. We were joking around about how he used to do this as a toddler. Like how he would just walk to our room and go, I need to go use the restroom. And he's been, thankfully, not been doing that, for a while. But apparently, the power being out sparked him to have to come to us and go, I need to go use the restroom. And I'm not going in the dark. And it was just like, because normally we have nightlight and for him to guide the way. And we're like, okay, we turn on our phone light, we put it into our bathroom, and we're like, go. Right? And he does everything. And he kind of just stands around in our room. And we're like, what? He goes, but the power's out. We're like, we can't turn it on. We can't do anything. We know the power's out. We don't know the ETA. There's still no ETA, which was surprising. And it was funny because the power did come back on, apparently, maybe 5 minutes before he walked into our room. So it came on, and then 5 minutes after, it turns off again. And I guess that second time was what woke him up and prompted him to go to the bathroom. So, so I'm like, we don't know when the power will be on. It'll be on when it's on. And we're like, go to bed, please. Just go to bed, right? So we think that's it, right? We're good. Okay, one woken up. No, we keep getting woken up throughout the night. I can't sleep. What do you want us to do? So basically, because he can't sleep, we can't sleep. And there was just at one point, he's in our room, just standing there. And I'm just like, Michael, go to bed. Well, I'm going to walk into walls. I'm like, you didn't walk into walls when you got in here. You can walk back to your room. It's fine. I can't sleep. I'm like, I can't sleep either now. And it's just like, and it got to a point where it got to be ridiculous. Like, we got him back to his room, and he comes back into our room. And I'm just like, we got frustrated because at that point it's like 5:20, 30 minutes before our alarm goes off. And we're like, Michael, we know you can't sleep, but please just stay in your room at this point. The power's not going to be on anytime soon. Go to bed. We were very cranky at that point. We were trying to be gentle, and it was just like, he was just, I don't know what was wrong, but it was just like, come on, you're 10 years old, sweetie. I know I'm scared of the dark too, but come on, please. We're here. That's why our door is open, so you guys can reach us if there's an emergency. There's still enough light because, it wasn't pouring rain anymore at that point. It was it was just kind of slightly foggy out, and the moon was peeking through, so there was light coming into the hallway. There was actually more light in the hallway area than in our bedroom, so I was just like, you can see your way to your room. It's fine. Oh man. So we wake up. It's 5:50, still no power. Nicole is mad. Because guess what? She has to take a shower. Another cold shower. But this time, not just any cold shower. A cold shower in the dark. I'm like, I'm sorry, kid. I'm sorry. I can't help you. And I was just like, it's not like I chose it. And it was funny because it was just like, okay, well, we were like, okay, the kids were like, is there going to be school? And we're like, yes. And they're like, but there's no power. I'm like, but there's power over at your school. So the thing was, for us, it was half our neighborhood was out without power. And in the town, all of the town, and then up to the first half of the neighborhood had power. It's just the second half of the neighborhood, and then going into the next town over had no power. So we got unlucky. so so we're like, power. There's still power over at the schools, so you're still going to school. And I got, oh man, worst day ever. We're like, we have candles going on, so they eat. We're eating their dinner. My husband and I were kind of putting some eggs in the almond milk and stuff into the freezer portion, so that way it can try and stay cold a little bit longer. And we're like, okay, well, we're still getting ready, or it's just everything's in the dark. It's okay. And and I'm like, look, at least it lights up easy. Like 6:30, it's always starting to get really bright in our house and stuff like that. I'm like at 6:30 it's going to be bright enough where we can open the blinds and stuff like that, and we'll be fine. Which, true, it happened. And then we were leaving at 6:50. We like we normally do. And we had to open the garage manually, so it was like fun, so open up that garage. And then my husband pulls the car out. I go and close the garage and lock it from the inside, and go out through the front door and everything. And we're pulling out the neighborhood, right? We're pulling out of the neighborhood. I get an alert on my phone because we have a security system, and it says power's been restored. Are you kidding me? Okay, let me situate myself in this chair a little bit more. Anyway, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And my husband's like, what? I'm like, the power's back on. And he's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, the power's back on. And the kids were like, what? Can we go back to bed? I'm like, no, you're going to school. So we drop them off. We come back home. We set everything back up, and then we go take a nap. We're like, we're done. We're done. I'm done. Done. Oh man, but yeah, that was that was an adventure. I don't want to repeat that adventure ever again. I don't want to repeat the burnt wire ever again too. But yes, that was pretty much our Friday. And earlier that day, later on that day. So I was like, once I had took my nap and everything, I started feeling the urge to kind of clean. We got spring cleaning going on. Like next week, our town is doing a lot of pickups of like things that they normally take to the dump and stuff like that. So we're going to be taking out our old sink and toilet and our mattress and stuff like that. We're going to get rid of those things. But we decided to kind of start cleaning up. So I started cleaning up the garage. I'm have mental vibes. I'm like, good vibes only, because I'm going to be trying to get my test this summer to get my driver's license. So our garage is a mess. It's been a mess for a while, and there's been just boxes. I was really good for a while at breaking down the boxes and putting them in a pile, and then I just kind of lapsed around Christmas time and stuff like that because I had to keep the presents hidden and kept them in boxes. So I just never really broke down those boxes, and it just kind of kept piling and piling and piling. So we had a good 6 to 8 months of boxes in the garage that weren't broken down. And I finally just went, okay, we're going to do this. So I went into the garage and I just started breaking down the boxes. I was just like, okay, we're going to just constantly do this. So it took me a good hour or so, but those boxes, they got broken down. They were good. I'm like, yes, so now now I'm back to, whenever we get packages and stuff, like I'm breaking them down. I actually got 3 boxes. I got to do that right now because my husband ordered Squishmallows for the kids. We got an Eevee Squishmallow. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I got an Eevee Squishmallow too, but I got an early Mother's Day gift. He got me the 20-inch Eevee Squishmallow, but I immediately when I saw these things, because they were on pre-order on Amazon, I said, "Oh my goodness, Jaina would love that, right?" And it was going to be like Jaina's birthday gift, but then we kind of went, well, Nicole's going to want that too, so we just kind of just did a just because kind of gift. We don't always usually, just because, but it was just because. So we got something for everyone. So Michael got this little STEM kit thing that he's going to be working on. It's like got 8 different things to work on. So, but yeah, it was just because. So they got surprised with that yesterday actually, with those Eevee Squishmallows. But I gotten mine as an early Mother's Day gift. I want to say it was like I think it was like Thursday or so. And that thing's big. I have a 20-inch Pikachu too. So, and they're both big. And my husband's like, where are we going to put the room for it if we're getting more? Because I want a Gengar one and then also a Snorlax one. And then I was just like, okay, we don't have to get another one. Although I do kind of want one more. I want the Gengar at least, but we're not gonna go with. I'm not gonna. We really don't have the room. We really don't have the room. But that wasn't all. I was like, I had when I was trying to. I pulled out my finished diamond paintings about a week or 2 ago, which also twinged my husband's back because of how heavy these things were. But I had a storage system where I put them in basically those gift, those bags that hold, Christmas wrapping paper and stuff like that. So I had them in those, but when I was pulling them out, I was noticing a thing. All the diamond paintings were kind of squishing the other because of how heavy it was, and it was starting to make them flat, like, creased and everything. And I'm like, to me, it's like, it was fine once I rolled it, but I was just like, no, we can't have that. No, I don't want this happening. So I bought a laundry hamper that was like tall enough and it had a lid. I bought a laundry hamper and I set it up into my bedroom. So that same day, right? So same day that I did the whole boxes and stuff like that. So it was like I had Nicole help me. I was surprised she was willing to help me out, because first it was just like she was doing laundry while I was doing all of this, like putting the hamper together, and then I said, hey, because she's like, can I stick around and just talk with you? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm like, but I'm going to put you to work, which I did. But it was literally, my work was, here, take these diamond paintings, take them out of the plastic bag, roll them, unroll them, flatten them, and then roll them again without, landing on the crease, which is what she did. I gave her all the smaller ones. And what I did was like start having them sit upright. So instead of laying flat, I have them all standing up instead. So that is my new storage system for now. But unfortunately that laundry hamper is completely full. So I can't put this year's diamond paintings in it. This is all like the past 3 years. That's in that laundry hamper. So, and I do have a laundry hamper for this year, but it's like doesn't have the lid or something or stuff. It's literally just for the year. What I was planning on doing was like have like an area where I can store all my finished diamond paintings, because what I've been doing now is when I finish a diamond painting, I don't put it back in its box anymore. I put it in a bag and then I put it to the side, so that way I can do like month in reviews, and then also the year in review as well. So I have an area where I'm not like trying to find it. It's all grouped together in one spot. So that's that laundry hamper. So I'm going to have to buy a new one by the end of the year, just to put finished diamond paintings in there for the next couple of years. But what I'm doing is trying to get rid of boxes. I'm trying to consolidate a little bit, and I'm kind of tempted to just start pulling out all my diamond paintings and just put them up, so that way I can make some more room. But I don't know. I'm still thinking about that. But that was Friday. I did all that, and then um, so I had to rest. But then next Saturday, I decided to help my husband out with some of the yard work. So Saturday, it was, my husband's like going to give me some relax time for Mother's Day, because what we decided was we're going to have my mother-in-law come over on actual Mother's Day. And we were supposed to celebrate, like the kids and I were going to celebrate it on Saturday. That didn't really happen at all. We went cleaning. We had to did more yard work. So we already had all those branches and stuff moved out, but I helped him aerate the front of the yard, and we also seeded before we had another round of storms coming through. Because basically the storms that did come through helped make the yard wet enough so it was easy to aerate. So it was like, okay, we didn't have to water the lawn beforehand, and we didn't have to water it after, which was awesome. So it was like actually started sprinkling as soon as we were like finishing the last bit of grass seed that we were putting down. But yeah, my husband went to Publix earlier that day. He took the kids, so that way I could have a little bit of quiet time, which I did. I used that to get a video in, but it was like literally just enough where he went to the store and back. So, and I was so looking forward to going out to this Asian restaurant, man. I was really looking forward to it, but but it didn't happen, guys. But anyway, he came home with flowers for both me and his mom. The kids picked out desserts, which was so sweet. And then of course we had to do the whole lawn work and stuff like that. And he pulled his back even more. So at that point, I was just like, I was feeling disappointed. I wasn't mad at him because he hurt his back. You can't be mad at him. But I was definitely feeling disappointed because I really wanted to go and spend some time as a family and do some stuff together. And all of a sudden, all the kids were like, well, if we're not going out, they went off and did their own thing. I made dinner for them, and I was having a little pity party. It's just like, I know it's like it's silly, but I was having a little pity party, and then I was starting to feel very kind of melancholy a bit, because my mom passed away. It's going to be 2 years now, almost. This upcoming August, it'll be 2 years, and last year was really rough. My husband and I weren't together at that point. I mentioned before that he and I had a little bit of a separation kind of thing going on back then, but he and I weren't together for a moment, and I was really missing my mom. He was still sweet, and he still sent like flowers and stuff to the house and everything, but it was just like it was really bad for me last year for a little bit. To be honest, I didn't really talk about that too much, but I was really upset last year. But this year I don't know what was wrong, but because it's just like I had people around, and I had my husband and everything, but it was just like started going into like I was really upset. I was sad. I was like, I don't want to dwell on it, but I was just like, I was really missing her and everything, and I was like trying to be, being supportive of the kids and things, but I was just, it was really sad. I was like really missing her, guys. And it was just like I can't even call her or wish her anything, and then I just like was like, and I expressed about the fact that I can't even be upset about the fact that I don't know what to shop for my mom, because my mom's so hard to shop for. It's like usually it's like always around these times, like where Mother's Day, her birthday, and Christmas, I'm constantly going, what do I get my mom? Because my mom is just such a hard to shop for person. Like she didn't have a lot of hobbies and stuff like that. She worked her butt off like to support me and my sisters and stuff like that, and she never really had downtime. Like, I know things that she likes. She loved reading. She she loved her soap operas. Days of Our Lives will always play in my head, man. I will always have that soundtrack in my head, like when of the opening of it opening. It's just like back then in the 90s. Holy cow, that's still going on, right? But no, the soap operas was like her thing. She loved that. But it's just like I was still going, what do I get for a woman who doesn't really want anything? But it's just like, but yeah, I was just frustrated about the fact that I can't be frustrated that I can't figure out what to get her. So it's just like, because it was like stuff like that. It was very conflicting. I was like happy to be around with my kids, but feeling a little miserable about that. So I kept like swinging back and forth, and then but yeah, then my husband's offered to get dinner for me, and I was just like, no, why bother? I was really in that. My mind was just really was like at that point I was just like, I don't want to go out, like you're his back's hurting, why bother, that kind of thing. I'm already feeding the kids, and he's all like, well, I'll just pick something up. I'm like, no, the whole point was to spend time as a family. I was like in a mood at that point, and it wasn't fair on him. So, which I did apologize, but it was just like I was feeling very, like I said, I was feeling a lot of feelings. But anyway, so we kind of just went past that. It's just like, and I just like had something, he fixed me something. I was like telling him, don't worry about it, because I'll figure something out. I just don't know what to eat, because I was looking forward to Asian food. I was like, because I wanted to, like, this place is like an Asian fusion restaurant, and we went there once, him and I, for a date, and I wanted to take the kids out because I know that they would love they had Chinese food, so I know that the two of the kids would be safe, but there's sushi too, so the other kid would be excited. Plus there was also other foods I haven't tried, like I want to try bibimbap. I never tried that before, and then of course curry and stuff like that. And there was like this I was like, and how for my husband knows how rare it is for me to venture out and try new foods. If we go to a place and I will try new food, but if I like a certain food, I tend to stick with that food whenever we go to the restaurant, and I don't tend to gravitate to anything else but that food. Like once I find the food that I like at the restaurant. So I am adventurous until I find the food that I like, which which he knows is a rare thing. When I said I want to try bibimbap, or it was like the red Thai, no, it was like the spicy Thai. No, wait. It was like some spicy Thai red curry chicken, which I never tried curry before, and I wanted to try it. So it was just like, so I was just like wanting to try that stuff, but I wanted to be with the kids and stuff like that. I didn't want to just eat it by myself. It was like, no, that's not fair, So hopefully I will be in the mood to want to try that again in the future. We'll see, I guess. But yeah, so the next day it was just like, and I just, and I know it would sound like I'm being like frustrating or stubborn or something, but so the next day we wake up, it's Mother's Day. The kids come running down, yelling, and saying Happy Mother's Day and all that stuff. It was very sweet. And I was like, okay, do you need me to make dinner, or not dinner, breakfast for you guys? Because I knew that my husband still had a pulled back, and I was just like, I was all prepped to work on breakfast and get things done, and they were like, no, we got it. I'm like, okay, all right, I was like, okay, all right, sure, yeah, I guess. And it's like Michael had cereal and Jana had a bagel, and Nicole stayed asleep. And I got up and like kind of diamond painted for like maybe 10 minutes before I'm like, okay, coffee, I need coffee. So yeah, got myself like coffee and stuff, and then I finally ventured upstairs to to wake up my husband and everything to see about like if he wanted me to make dinner, because I was like, the plan for dinner was hamburgers. I was not in the mood for hamburgers. I was just like, when he mentioned hamburgers, like I was just like, ooh, my mind immediately went, ooh. So if you guys don't know, I it's not as bad anymore. But after I had the kids, this is all, both times I was pregnant, I developed a red meat aversion. And I had to get tested for Lyme disease and all that fun stuff. It's just, I don't like eating red meat all the time. I can to an extent. Like, I'll eat ribs now, I'll eat steak, but sometimes it's the ground beef just gets to me. And I know this is going to be funny because, like, I offered to make chili instead, because I'm not good at, I mean, hamburgers is easy, but I just did not feel like frying hamburgers. To me, I wanted to, if I was going to make something, because we had all the ingredients for both hamburgers or for, oh, we got some light coming in. I'll move this over a little bit more instead. I'll move my lamp over. um, but goodness, where was I going with this? Anyway, so even though I was like, I wasn't in the mood to eat ground beef, I was still willing to like use the ground beef to make chili or something, so that way he could rest. And he's like, no, it's Mother's Day. And I was just like, I was kind of like, well, I don't have to make it. I can just direct the kids to make it, which, he knows his code is, I'm going to do it anyway. He told me to sit my butt down. And I was just like, I'm just trying to make sure your back's not hurting, I'm like, calm your butt. But yeah, I was told not to worry about making dinner, because I was like thinking, okay, if I'm going to make the chili, I gotta make it now, and so that way it's cooking for a few hours. So that way it'll be really good. I mean, it'll be even better the next day. And at least whenever I do make chili and stuff like that, I can handle chili. Even though it's ground beef, I guess with all the flavorings and stuff, when it's mostly like hamburger, it's still that texture for me. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Sometimes I can't even eat chili, so and I like chili, so but yeah, I was told to sit my butt down. So instead, I tried to direct the kids to try and clean up the place a little bit and get things ready. And then Nicole offered to watch the kids, so I could, when I say watch the kids, when she's a kid herself, she offered to watch her brother and sister, so that way I could go and get boba tea and a banh mi sandwich, which my husband took her up on that offer. I was like, okay, because it's like, I don't know. I mean, like, that seems a little much. And he goes, no, we're gonna do this. And he goes, I need to stop at Food Lion anyway. So, they did go to Publix, but since I wasn't going to eat ground beef, he was like, well, what do you want? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I'll just figure something out. It's fine. He goes, it's Mother's Day. I'm like, well, I'll tell you what I want, but it's not gonna happen. Which was still the Asian food, because I really wanted that. But yeah, it was just like, so I was like, okay, fine, get just like one of those miniature lasagna things, like not even family size, like single serving. I'm like, that way I can eat with you guys and it's fine. And he's like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, please just do that. But yeah, we went out to get boba, and that was nice. I was like, I got a banh mi sandwich, so it was like, that was delicious. I loved it. I loved it so much. And I decided to go different. It was with I normally get the taro boba tea. This time I went with brown sugar, which I've had before, and I know it's delicious, but it's just like I said, once I find a flavor that I really like, I tend to stick to that flavor pretty much for life until I find something better. So I was just like, nope, we're gonna go and try brown sugar today. And we both forgot to order it with almond milk. I'm not lactose intolerant, but two of my kids are. So most of the time we have almond or oat milk instead of the regular milk. We don't even buy any milk products now. So like, well, I mean, we buy cheese and stuff like that, but we don't buy whole milk or 1% or 2%. So normally we just buy a bunch of almond and oat milk, and I use that for my recipes and things like that, when it still turns out well. So, but, um, but yeah, I forgot to order it with almond milk. And my husband, ever since he gotten his gallbladder taken out, um, he has developed, he has become lactose intolerant too. So, but he forgot to order it without the oat milk, and usually he can handle like 1% or 2%, but this place they use whole milk instead. So it's just like, so he wasn't happy, the poor guy. So he was like not doing very good when we got back home, and I'm like, oh no. So once again, I'm like, I'll be happy to make dinner, and I was once again told, sit my butt down. I'm like, okay. um, but oh, I need to show you something that the kids made me. So here's something, like, it was so sweet. Like, so when I woke up, like, this is so Jana decided to do something cute. Like, she did her A's upside down on purpose. Like, she likes to be artsy and stuff like that. So I got a Happy Mother's Day card. I'm only showing you the front of this. Excuse me. But yeah, it was just like cute. So apparently this is supposed to be me with my hair slowly growing out. And she even got my hoodie parts. Like, I wear a hoodie that usually has stripes and stuff on it. And then this is her. And it was so sweet. And then she got everyone, even my husband, to sign the card. She has like a lot of cutesy things. But I was very surprised because my husband told me one of the things, like, when Nicole went upstairs on Saturday night, the day before, she's like, I'm busy working on something. And I was just like, okay. And my husband's like, she's making you a Mother's Day gift. I'm like, okay. And she comes out before the whole boba thing, and she makes me this, guys. Okay. Now it looks a little weird, but but this is a coaster. She made me a coaster, and it was like so sweet of her, like, because she's 13, she's apathetic nowadays, and she's been like, I know that she's been having trouble with crocheting. If you guys don't know, she's left-handed, so I've been trying to teach her how to crochet. I'm like showing her with my hands, and of course I'm right-handed, and I'm like trying to show her how to hold it with her left hand, trying to do that. I even pulled up YouTube tutorials, because there's like this one guy, I forgot, he crochets with his left hand. I'm like amazed by it. And she's kind of stubborn in her ways, so she won't watch those tutorials because she's all like, I can do it. And it was just like, but this guy actually is left-handed. He knows. But anyway, it's just a butting head situation. But I gotten her a cute octopus set to work on, and she's been like getting frustrated because she's been trying to do the magic circle and stuff like that, but apparently she's been practicing over and over to try and do that, and she made me a little coaster, and I was just like, oh, and I was like, she's like, it's wonky, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's perfect, it's beautiful. I'm like, it's her first completed project, so I'm like, I'm really proud of her on that. And I told her that I would be glad to help her work on making, like, if she wants to make another coaster, we can work on it together, and that way I can show her how to do one where so that way it doesn't curl up to become like a little hat or anything like that, so that way it actually can be laid flat. And she goes, so you don't like it? I'm like, no, it's beautiful, I love it. I'm like, I just know that you are a perfectionist and you want to do things correctly, so I'm like, so I'm offering to help out, so that way you can do things, and that way if you want more yarn and stuff like that. And I got told I want more yarn. She's like, I want more colors, and I'm like, okay, I can do that. Like, I have my crochet hooks. You're welcome to them. Don't tear them up. But yeah, I'm really proud of her. I'm really super proud of her. Like, I know how frustrating this had to be for her, because she gets so mad so easily on things like this. So, like I said, I'm so proud proud of her. She did such a good job. And it's too bright in here. There we go. Now it's too bright. Sun's peeking out. Sun's stopped, the rain stopped raining. Okay. But yeah, it's just like, so I was so proud of her. And it's like, so now, hopefully, I'll, my mother-in-law has offered some of her yarn, so I might be taking her up on that offer to send Nicole over and let Nicole, choose a couple of color options and stuff like that. And I'll probably pick out one for myself, so that way, because what's funny was before Nicole showed interest about crocheting, so she didn't show any sort of interest whatsoever, and I gathered up all of my yarn because I haven't crocheted in a while. I was going to crochet, and I gave up all my yarn to my sister when I went to go visit. When I went up there for my mom's funeral almost 2 years ago, I gathered up my yarn and just gave my sister all my yarn, because one of the things I was doing for my mom, which I had a bunch of yarn for collected, was I was going to make another temperature blanket. I already made one for her, but I had a pattern picked out, so it wasn't like just stripes or anything like that. It was going to be like little grainy square circles, like, so that way the inside was going to be like it was going to be the low of the day, and the outside was going to be the high, or vice versa. One of the two. I don't remember exactly how I had it planned out, but I had bought a lot of yarn in preparation for that. And then, of course, with everything that happened, I was just like, I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna give this up. I'm not touching crocheting for a while. So. And I didn't want the yarn to go to waste. And my sister, Mimi, she crochets all the time. She does all sorts of baby blankets and stuff like that for a lot of her coworkers. So it's like, okay, this yarn, it's going to be put to good use. Excuse me. And I was like, okay, so I'll just give her my yarn, and, at least, if I want to start it up again, I can eventually. And then after that, a few months after that, that's when Nicole expressed interest in crocheting. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I would have kept like a couple of skeins if I knew that. But now it's like, okay, well, I'll do that, but it's just like, it's going to be a bit before I actually start buying some yarn again. And maybe she can make her own blanket that I picked out. I had this like giraffe hood blanket. Like, I know she's 13 though, so she probably doesn't want to do that. But man, I used to make a lot of mermaid blankets, and I had like this one where it was like a butterfly blanket. So like kind of like in the mermaid style, where you had it like wrapped over your legs, but instead of like the fins and stuff like that, it made it look like it's a cocoon bottom instead. And then the edges kind of can go up and wrap around your arms, so it's like butterfly wings. Excuse me. But yeah, so it's just like but no, sorry, I'm going down memory lane. Oh man. But anyway, but yeah, I'm gonna probably get her a couple of skeins later on. Probably, like I said, I'll probably definitely take up my mother-in-law's offered for Nicole to just go wild and get like 2 or 3 things for herself, so that way she has a couple of color options to work on. And then let's see, and then of course everyone came over afterwards, and my husband made dinner for them. And I was just like, I wasn't trying to be upset, I was like still in that whole. It still feels weird because it's just like celebrating Mother's Day, and then of course, my mom's not around, so it was just like very much. But I try to make it work for the kids and everyone else, because we're not just celebrating me, we're also celebrating my mother-in-law as well. So it's like I'm not gonna ruin her day just because I'm feeling sad about my mom not being around. I didn't want to make it all about me. And I think I did a pretty good job, because the kids seem to be okay and everything. So yeah, but I really enjoyed the fact that they they gave me those like these cards and then this little coaster thing. So I have been using it as a coaster. I know she doesn't think I'm using it too much because I don't want to ruin it with like some of my drinks, like my coffees and stuff. So I've been just using it with my bottles and stuff, so that way it doesn't flop over and things like that. So, but I was just like, it's so sweet. But yeah, that's pretty much a lot that's been going on this week. Let's see. This later on this week is some scary stuff for me that I got some doctor's appointments coming up. My kids have we had to switch our kids' dentist appointments. So what's funny was this coming up week my daughter had a dentist appointment. And then the next week following was my son's dentist appointment. Well, that week my son also has a field trip. I know, even though both of them are the same age, it's just because he's in the news channel bit, the morning news club for school. They're doing like a little field trip and doing like a lunch kind of thing to celebrate the end of the year, and all that stuff. So we had to contact our dentist and we're like, we know we're being a pain in the butt because we keep switching this over, but is there any way you could switch Jana and Michael's appointments so like Michael can come this week and Jana goes next week? And thankfully they were so understanding and they said, of course. So Michael's going this week. Michael's going this week. Jana's going next week. I got 2 more appointments next week. I gotta go to an appointment this week. I'm tired. I'm tired of doctors. But yeah, hopefully things aren't going to be too scary for me. But after that, I have the retreat to look forward to. And I'm excited about. But yeah, so yeah, basically my appointment that's coming up this week is I have my CT scan, which I'm not looking forward to. I'm very nervous about. I'm really nervous about, to be honest. So not, like I said, I'm not looking forward to it. Just want to get it over with, and then of course I have to see my oncologist on Monday about it. So it's just like I don't want to go in. I don't want to. Everything's been fine, but it's just like it's always that what if, So it's just like, and I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with what if. So, but yeah, I think that is pretty much everything that has been going on this week. Like I said, it's been kind of a lot. But anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. As you guys can see, I was sticking with that one color for a while. But we did get part of the crown done, so I wanted to at least have you see a bit of the crown. So hopefully we'll be done with the rest of this canvas by the end of the week. Cross your fingers. But anyway, otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!